8. It's brand new, so I've never actually driven it at all. But I engineer taking the Silver Meteor service to Miami. Open the doors for passengers to alight and board before you depart. Alight is an interesting word. So I don't normally go outside the engines, but I will for this. And a pretty nice looking engine and coaches. Look here, we've got the HUD up. Getting towards the end of the loading time. Let's take a look in the cab. Actually, really nice cab. Don't turn our headlight on. We now depart. Alright, reverser forward, brakes off, gauge going down. Oh. Gauge down. And we will accelerate. Speed limit here, 20. Alright. So I guess this engine's pretty famous for being powerful, being able to get a passenger train up to speed quickly. So we're going to try that out. Oh yeah. We're going well, almost up to 20 now, which is speed limit for right here. Power gauge settling back down. I want to make sure I don't put the dynamic brake on there. Yeah, so we're in the Miami route, and this is part one of a scenario, I guess, to kind of introduce you to this engine, right? It's pretty interesting. I cannot turn my head further to the right than that. I've never seen a view that restrictive, actually. Yeah, this is part one of the scenario on this route, and we'll be doing, I think it's just like a normal passenger run. I'm actually going to pull up the schedule here. So we're going to be going 40 miles total, and we're going to be picking up passengers 3 times. Twice, I guess. Alright, let's pump it up a little bit. We got a 45 mile an hour. I was pretty excited for this, though. I'm not a huge fan of passenger trains, but this engine is used for a lot of yard work for Amtrak, so I think there's even a scenario in the set that came with it to do some switching for Amtrak, so we'll try to get to that and test it out. Sounds are pretty nice from what I can tell so far. The horn sounded decent. The engine doesn't sound too muted. Definitely disappointed about the head view so far, though. Sounds pretty good. And the plane buzzing buzzing the tracks, maybe a little lower than it would be in real life. I like this Miami route. Super nice. To me, it feels like there's lots of stuff going on plenty of things to see. We get 60 miles an hour now. It's a fast route too. That's pretty nice. Another plane buzzing us there. I think we got the airport right to our right, which I can't fully swing out and see. But all right, let's get her up to 60. Train coming here on the left. So this would be CSX territory, which is cool. There we go. A couple of CSX AC 9000s. Don't ask me the difference between that and the ES44. They look the same to me. Cooking along now. Let's take a little bit of a look around the cockpit here. So you got the power handle, which we're playing around with a bunch. Auto brake, reverser, independent brake. So when I talk about the dynamic brakes, we're using the power handle and pushing it forward. And that's for kind of our downhill sections. We just threw it into idle. We're up to 60 miles an hour. Gauges, we got the power gauge. We have lights for different so we got lights for different indications, which is good. Let's see if we have wheel slip. So from there, we have brake gauges, and this one sitting at 0 right now, so we've got no pressure in the cylinders. As we increase this brake, we will see this gauge go up. As we increase the dynamic brake, we'll actually see the power gauge go into the yellow. When we increase the throttle normally to go faster, you see it pump into the green. So that's what I'm watching when we're accelerating, how many amps we're throwing on the track. What does this say? This locomotive is filled with a motor-driven air compressor. Optimum train charging is achieved with throttle handle in notch 1. Interesting. And then from here we got some buttons. What are these? Sander, horn, bell, and the alerter reset, which I'm not sure if we'll have to use that. We'll see. Alerter's like a switch on the track that trips that, and if we don't acknowledge it within, I don't know, 5 seconds, it'll actually stop the train. So definitely want to make sure that doesn't happen. Alright, and down here we got headlights, which are thrown dim. Rear headlight we don't need. And then some switches, which we can't control. Oh, we got this one. What is it? Instrument lights, which was on anyway. That's good. And these guys down here. Step lights. Yeah. There's a couple more light switches. We can't look behind us at all. Over here, I think there's an emergency brake for the other engineer. But yeah, overall, I mean, it's actually a decently detailed cockpit as far as train sim is concerned. It's unfortunate that a lot of trains just miss so many features. So let's see, we got 11 more miles to go until we're at the next station. And up in the middle here, I don't know if this works, but this should be a signal indicator. To me, it doesn't look like it works. It should tell us ahead kind of what the next signal is. Got another switch here that I missed. What's this do? Ditch lights. I guess we're passing through Lake Worth Station. Hope we weren't supposed to stop there. No. We weren't. It actually blows my mind that we can't look behind us, because if this train is intended for switching scenarios, how are we supposed to do that if we can't look behind us? It's very interesting. So probably have to edit that myself, unfortunately. I'm sorry to be switching views around so much. It's a little bit different than my normal videos, because for those I try to keep it as realistic as possible. This one, checking out the engine. We are pulling, short passenger train. We have a PC-42 behind us, so there's two engines. And that's kind of what you'd normally see pulling an Amtrak. This is a little bit more rare. Achievement unlocked. We did 8 miles in the Dash 8. Congratulations. Be doing quite a bit more than that, I think. And we're speeding slightly. It's a career scenario, so there's points on the line and everything. Honestly, I could care less about that. Probably losing many points for being late and speeding, who knows. Not important. Nice long stretch of track here. The whole route, I think, is done concrete ties. And as far as I know, it's mostly flat. But makes for some good high-speed freight pulling. Dual tracks. So passing opportunities. Seven miles left. Get worried every time I see a station. I don't know this route very well, so get worried every time I see a station that it's the one we're supposed to stop at. I'm not sure. It might be proper etiquette to blow the whistle if you're going to, or blow the horn if you're going to blow through a station. a little track here that comes on. Interesting. Throw it in neutral there. Idle. Speed board 70. Good to accelerate actually, which was nice. I think the fastest, other than Northeast, maybe some parts in the West, but on most of the lines in America, the fastest speeds is about 80 miles an hour. So I can't imagine we're going to be going much faster than that. Yeah, and I think this signboard is for 75. Wow. So it's a high speed run. We get some yellow signals on the left, so we'll be having a meet in a second. To just about 70. Yeah, and you can feel the speed. Just about at 75 now. We'll put it in idle. It's a nice quick morning run. Scenario is broken into two parts to get the whole way down for this route. And we've just got about 3 miles now until we get to the station, so we're going to have to start thinking about slowing down soon. We'll see how well I can time this. I'm not used to stopping without warning. Also haven't really ever used this locomotive, obviously, and not sure how the brakes work, so we'll see. .70 mph, good. We're down to that. So on this route, doesn't seem like there's warning signs for a speed change. How this kind of happen. Coming under 2 miles left to go. I'll wait till we're within about a mile before we really slow her down. So we're going to use the auto brake for this. Like I said, says do not blow the signal here. Interesting. I guess that would also be called the locomotive brake. Let's put some brake pressure on. Try not to do anything too crazy. We got a 60 sign, and we're coming under 60. You can see our brake pressure filled up, and it comes on really easily, actually. It's nice. Some trains you have to engage first. 50 miles an hour now. So we got to meet here with that signal we saw before. Another Amtrak with some 42s up front. Release the brake and we'll coast along now. Definitely stopped a little bit too early. What can you do though? I think the station's right up here. There's a bridge overhead. Better being a little slow than rocketing through. Definitely on this route, I feel like it's underutilized. There's lots and lots of opportunities for switching and things. There's lots of side tracks for industries. Let's pop the brakes on a bit. Welcome to Delray Beach. So I'm going to pass the station with the front of the train. Because obviously I don't need to get out. My passengers do. I remember I got one engine behind me as well, so we're going to roll quite a little bit here. There we go. And once this comes to a rest, it should be in a good spot, I'm imagining. We'll let passengers out. We'll check how we did with parking since I can't spin behind me to look. There you go, stopping. Nice and easy. We'll let passengers in and out. And not bad. It's one of those situations where they would say... yeah, you can only get out of cabs 5 through 8. So, gotten to the first station all right. And I'll just wait for passengers to be loaded and we'll head out to the next one. Looks like we are loaded. Didn't let us know. So we'll try to accelerate pretty quickly here. Getting up to just 80 miles an hour here. Got no whistle for this crossing. It's interesting. They must be worried about residential neighborhoods. They do have gates, so it's not like somebody can just wander onto the tracks, hopefully. And this one lets you. That's interesting. speed nicely now, just about hitting 60 miles an hour. Idle now, we're up to speed. Flying right along. How far are we now? 7 miles. 7 miles to the next station. And I do quite like this fast run here. As a passenger train, you can skirt along these tracks quite a lot quicker. It's not the tracks usually that the speed limits are for. It can be, obviously, but a lot of it's for what you're carrying too. For freight trains, they're carrying many more. Freight trains are carrying many types of cars and things with cargo that might not be fully secure. So it's important they don't, exceed a certain speed where things could shift, or, a lot of the cars sit for forever on sidings and they're inspected, but they're not in the greatest conditions. So freight trains go a lot slower, just in general. Passenger trains, less cars, less weight. Less things to shift around, because you got humans, so you have to take that into account, but generally go a lot quicker because of that. So we're rolling right along here, 5 miles out from the next station. Got the big highway next to us. Many lanes, all empty. Nice quiet morning. What does this sign say? City downtown. Pretty generic, but whatever. We got another airplane buzzing us. That's interesting. Whoever worked out the flight paths for those doesn't really know how airplanes take off and land. If you ever saw a big jet flying level at an altitude like that, I'd know something was wrong. Or at least there's an air show going on. Through a little vegetation now, it's pretty cool. We're sitting in notch 1, holding right at about 75 miles an hour. love this route. The vegetation's really cool because it's all, palm trees and ferns and things. Very humid climate in Miami. No whistle at this next crossing. And we are now 1.3 miles away, so I'm going to try to stop a little better now that I know the brakes are good. Throw her into idle. And we'll see, as we bust around this corner, we'll start applying the brakes. Low here, down a little bit of speed, and you can see the platform there in front of us. Very interesting. Looks like the car spawn point. It was right on the tracks. Which I've seen before. I've actually seen some cars break through crossings, which is so strange. There we go. So I was a little pushing it on the deceleration. So we're just coming to a stop now. We definitely haven't passed the platform, but yeah, that was pretty interesting. So we'll let the passengers off. Check how we did. We actually did pretty well there. Stopped a little long. We had one carriage over, but we didn't have much more space for that. And we got the baggage car at the end, which doesn't need to stop at the platform really. So yeah, stopped a little long on that one. Still worked. So sorry everybody. And we'll wait till this countdown is done, and then we'll be heading to the final stop on this part 1 of the run. Alright, we're done, so let's get out of here. So it's interesting, this brake actually uses the dynamic brakes. I noticed as we were stopping that time, the power gauge is actually in the brake zone. So that's really cool. I don't know... I have actually not paid attention as much, but I don't know if there's any other trains I've driven that do that. But it makes it stop much more consistently and quick than putting on the brakes, just with air. So that might be something with what this notice says about having the handle in notch 1. I'm gonna have to read up on that. It's pretty interesting. But accelerating now out of the station. What do we got? 13 miles. We got a little bit of a ride here to get to Fort Lauderdale. So we will get up to speed and get moving. Looks like we're going to have a meet here with a CSX, another CSX train. Oh yeah. CSX coal or gravel train. Short train. Not too long. Getting up to speed now. It's passing 65 miles an hour. to 79 miles an hour. Put her in idle. Coast along here. Cooking pretty quick. And I might bump up the headlights a little bit. It's a little dark. Just make sure we can see well. Coasting through another station here. There we go. So once trains get up to speed, you really don't need... they have a lot of momentum, so you don't need a lot of power to keep them there. Unless you're going up or down a hill. In which case you're going to need, you know, significant acceleration or braking to hold the train out of speed. But on flat surfaces, where friction is low, you just kind of roll right along. Alright, we got a 60 here. Put on the brake a little bit. If you see, the brake jumps down to the brake setting for dynamic brakes. It's interesting, helps us stop. So lots and lots of horn crossings here on this stretch. We got 7 miles to go to Fort Lauderdale. Rolling along at just under 60 miles an hour now. This is probably going to be the first video I share anywhere. I had done a few up to this point. I've been just working on the settings to make them look and sound nice. I know I had kind of a weird mic problem in the first one, and Yeah, the frame rates and stuff haven't been too great, but I think I've got most of that sorted now, and since this engine's new, I'll probably share this one out with, I don't know, somewhere. But if you stuck with me through it, and you're enjoying it, thanks for watching. I've been enjoying doing these. They're kind of fun. Been doing a route or so on Train Sim daily anyway, so it doesn't really hurt to record while I do it, and I don't know, makes it a little more interesting for myself, so I'll keep doing that for a while. It'd be interesting to get if anybody has any you know, opinion on routes and scenarios and things to try. Be willing to try out kind of anything American. I don't own really any of the European content, unfortunately, just a couple of British steam locomotives and stuff, but yeah, so I can't do that stuff. But as far as the American content, I can do almost anything. ES or AC 9000 trio or duo there with mixed freight behind it. Not bad. Long mixed freight. You see, most of the trains we've seen so far today have been short. There's a passenger and a couple freights, and they're all very short. This one looks like a decent sized freight. Getting close now, 3 miles away. I do wish well, if I knew the route I would know, but I wish there's a better way to tell where you are from stations other than giving you a pointer. Right at about 60 miles an hour right now. So we're rounding the last couple of corners on this scenario here. It's definitely a good run. Pretty interesting. Lots of crossings, lots and lots of crossings. But yeah, that's the Miami route. There's a ton of side tracks and industries to pick up and drop off from, as well as a solid double line the whole way. So it would be, yeah, it'd be interesting. I haven't really gone specifically and looked for scenarios people have made for this route. This one and the Pacific route they remind me of each other a bit. I think they're both just because of the tropical, except the Pacific one curves out and goes into the desert, which is super cool. Super cool. So we're coming up on the station now. I'll try to do a bit better job this time of stopping the train. 45 speed limit. Got her slowed down to that. So this one should be a bit easier. We're going much slower. This looks like a decently long platform, so we should be able to get the whole train on it. Fort Lauderdale. So, stopping the train now. Quite noisy, but thanks for joining me on this run. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll try to do part 2 here of this in not too long. But yeah, I'll see you guys next time.